Welcome to the Twister Topic Show, where we talk the future of digital assets, the new economy, and emerging technologies. Now, today in this video, we are going to be looking into Epic Games' Unreal Engine and how the genius Tim Sweeney, how he's setting himself up to become one of the leading technology companies or gaming companies to be leading the way for the metaverse. Now let's get into it. Now this is the Unreal Engine's website. As you can see, this is open game gameplay, you should say. And it says here, the world's most open and advanced real-time 3D creation tool. So Unreal Engine has been around for a long time. They have been working with many game developers as a lot of known titles, I should say. Right now, Unreal Engine is primarily known for the game Fortnite, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you know about. Now, Fortnite has climbed to the top of the charts when it first came out. I believe it was a couple years ago. But I think that Fortnite was mainly around to get gamers hooked on in order for there to be a community built, a community that can be built within that sphere. But first things first, we're going to be looking into Tim Sweeney. So let's go into his early life. Sweeney was raised in Potomac, Maryland, the youngest of three brothers. At a young age, he became interested in tinkering with mechanical and electrical devices and stated he had taken apart a lawnmower as early as 5 or 6 and later built his own go-kart. So we could already tell from the beginning ages he was already into constructing and crafting and whatnot. Now let's get into Epic Games and how it was founded. Sweeney attended the University of Maryland starting around 1989, where he studied mechanical engineering. Though he was still fascinated by computers, about this time his father, who worked for the Defense Mapping Agency known as DMA, gave him an IBM personal computer, AT. Sweeney established a consulting business, Potomac Computer Systems, out of his parents' home to offer help with the computers, but it never took off and he shelved the company. Later, Sweeney had the idea of creating games that could be sold, programming them at the night or over weekends outside of college work. This first required him to create a text editor based on the Pascal language to be able to program the game, which led to the idea of making a game out of the text editor itself. So this is essentially where Unreal Engine comes from. The basis is based on ZZT. So we're going to go a little more into it. Let's see here. Sweeney looked to the shareware model and wrote to Scott Miller of Apogee Software, a leading shareware producer at the time, for ideas on how to distribute ZZT. He revitalized Potomac Computer Systems for selling ZZT, fulfilling mail orders with help of his father. ZZT sold well enough, a few copies back in the day, about $100, that Sweeney decided to make developing games his career. And this is exactly where the introduction of Epic Games comes in. Now let's get into Unreal Engine. What is Unreal Engine? Let's go deeper into the mechanics of the engine. So it is a 3D computer graphics game engine developed by Epic Games, yes. First showcased in the 1998 first-person shooter game Unreal. So essentially this was the first game that was released under the Unreal Engine. And of course I believe it was either 2D game or visual or something like that. But essentially this was the game that catapulted them to a whole nother level. Initially developed for PC first-person shooters, it has since been used in a variety of genres of games and has seen adoption by other industries, most notably the film and television industry. All right. Now let's look into Unreal Engine 2, okay? So this is exactly when the modern gaming came into play. So it says IGN reported, based on an interview with affiliate Voodoo Extreme, that Sweeney was doing research for his next generation engine. With development starting a year later, the second version made its debut in 2002 with America's Army, a free multiplayer shooter developed by a US Army as a recruitment device. Soon after, Epic would release Unreal Championship on the Xbox, one of the first games to utilize Microsoft's Xbox Live. Now, this was one of Unreal Engine's biggest milestones is when they started to transition themselves into the portable system gaming. Before that, it was mostly PC gaming of such. But this is when they finally got themselves into the portable gaming like PlayStation 2 and whatnot. Sorry, not portable gaming, but you know what I mean. And then you got Unreal Engine 3, Unreal Engine 4, and as the numbers are going up, the development is getting much more advanced all the way until where we are today, which is Unreal 5. Now, this article states, will the Unreal Engine 5 realize the metaverse's potential? Epic Games' new real-time photorealistic renderer reaches well beyond just games. So this is a clip from the Matrix game that they've released on the PlayStation 5. It was to correspond with the movie when it was released, and I believe this is when they first really got a glimpse of the Unreal Engine 5 at full capacity. So I have the clip here, but before we get there, let's read a little bit. The race to build the metaverse is on, but first developers need the tools to do it. Unreal Engine 5, released on 5th of April, is among the leaders. Its creator, Epic Games, is best known for its mega hit game Fortnite. Alright, I think Unreal Engine 5 is a great step forward for the metaverse and augmented reality, virtual reality, especially when you consider that a lot of what the company has been building is thinking about the metaverse, AR, and VR. For those of you that don't know what AR is, it's augmented reality, and VR is virtual reality. Said Anshul Sag, principal analyst at More Insights and Strategy. After all immersion and real-time photorealistic rendering, that's as all encompassing an experience as possible is the name of the game. To that end, Unreal Engine 5 packs in dozens of features, refinements, but two take the spotlights: Lumen and Nanite. Keep this in mind. Lumen can handle global illuminations that include diffuse reflections with potentially infinite bounces. If you think this sounds like ray tracing, you're right. Though handled in software, which reduces accuracy, early demos show results that hold up well at a glance. Nanite, meanwhile, is a virtualized geometry system that can alter polygon counts in real time to meet a performance target. It helps developers achieve a level of optimization not previously possible. Now I have a clip here that's demonstrating what exactly these two names were. Keep this in mind, Lumen and Nanite. All right.
So what does nanite mean for artists? It means freedom. It means freedom of choice in terms of the assets that you can use. Now you don't have to worry about generating normal maps or low resolution proxies. You can load in full movie quality assets straight into the engine and be able to use them in your game.
So one thing that Nanite opened up to us was the ability to bring in really high quality assets from asset libraries. Like in this case, we use a lot of Quixel assets.
The Quixel Megascans is the world's largest scan library, and it consists of scans from all over the planet. And being able to use them in all their high poly and high res glory in real time was absolutely fantastic.
We did not have to customize any of those. Like if you kind of look behind the scenes of some of the content we have, it's super Kinbash. There's a ton of assets just kind of all slammed together. It's literally just drag it in, and it's great.
Some of these assets are, we're talking tens of millions of triangles for an individual asset. We're talking about entire scenes made up of billions and billions of triangles. The artists brought in the assets and were able to compose the scene the way it made the most sense for them to do it. They were able to just make the art in whatever way made the most sense to them, import it, and then let the engine handle the details.
What are you guarding?
Previously, artists would start from a really high resolution source asset and bake it down to a low poly model and generate a normal map out of this. So artists don't have to do this step anymore. It's just automatically done by Nanite.
And so what Nanite technology unlocks is to really liberate the artists so that they can deliver on their vision.
Nanite is like magic to me. Being able to bring these highly detailed models into Unreal without compromise is just game changing.
So Nanite and Lumen, essentially what you just seen was the developers being able to utilize tools that could make building frameworks within the game much more easier. So that's exactly what we just witnessed. What they're not telling you is these are presets, which a lot of developers have developed over time and composed into different types of shapes that could automatically just configure whatever land mass they need. For example, for a map, in games like Grand Theft Auto, we see this all the time where there's so much intricate details within every part of the map. So this is real crazy stuff that Unreal Engine is working with here. Now let's look at we got the Matrix Awaken video here. We're gonna take a look and see exactly how Unreal Engine looks in gameplay. I'm just gonna skip it a little further.
I like the freedom like worlds we build. They also confront us with questions about why we want to choose this over that, why we want to make X instead of Y. Where do ideas of who we are and what we want even come from?
You take the red pill, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This isn't real.
What is real? How do you define real?
For instance, I'm not even sure why I'm here. I remember waking up and thinking that I'm supposed to come here, that it was important for me to ask people, how do we know what is real? Hi, I'm Keanu Reeves. Over 20 years ago, I first played the character of Thomas Anderson in the Matrix trilogy. Those films...
Now let's go back. Let's go back for a second. Now, this is just what goes to show you how realistic their games are actually getting. As you can see, the details on this chair, this is all gameplay. This is not actually Reeves here. This is in-game.
That it was important for me to ask people, how do we know what is real? Hi, I'm Keanu Reeves. Over 20 years ago,
So you guys could see clearly that, they are definitely building an experience for consumers to get into, where they can actually see how the developments are made also with community creations.